Howdy folks, and today's episode of Star Wars Lore is about hyperspace. Now, from the earliest days of the Old Republic, the use of hyperspace technology had become commonplace. The ability to travel quickly and in relative safety from system to system, across the galaxy if necessary, was taken for granted by those whose very civilizations depended upon it. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible to travel faster than light, because, put simply, the faster one travelled, the greater one's mass and more power was needed to achieve higher speeds. Now, eventually, the power requirement became infinitely large, and so light speed was impossible to achieve. The simplest way around this problem was to bypass the physical rules that governed normal life. Now, existing alongside the real space that one inhabited was a separate dimension that became known as hyperspace. In hyperspace, it was possible to travel at speeds far in excess of the speed of light. Now, hyperdrive engines tended to allow a spacecraft to sidestep or jump into this alternate dimension for the duration of its journey. Such trips spanned many light years of real space. Now, the fact that real space and hyperspace were coterminous meant that any object in real space had a precise corresponding point in hyperspace. Critically, it also had a mass shadow, which would pose a potentially fatal danger to any craft travelling too near. These shadows had to be avoided by plotting intricate routes through hyperspace, which were stored within astrogation computers or droids. Now, as the objects in real space were constantly in motion, the astrogation coordinates had to be constantly updated. And when a journey was made through explored space, a pilot could use easily accessed hyperspace corridors, which were galactic routes that were largely free of obstruction. Even so, the navigation calculations had to be updated constantly and reviewed and recalculated before every jump. Hyperspace pioneers used short micro jumps to plot new routes through uncharted space. Making jumps into unknown hyperspace was an incredibly tedious and unbelievably dangerous but potentially highly paid job. Discovering a new hyperspace corridor could set up generations of one family for the rest of their lives. Now, a starship had to use a sublight drive to travel from the surface of a planet to a point from which it was safe to make the jump into hyperspace. And this had to be clear of the significant gravitational forces that created hyperspatial mass shadows. Now, from there, the ship's astro navigation computer, after it had been given the destination, made the calculations for a safe journey through hyperspace. Now, with the calculations complete, the hyperdrive motivator was engaged. Now, tied into the navigational computers, and an integral part of the engines themselves, the motivator initialized the thrust and sidestep needed to enter hyperspace. And during the journey, it fine-tuned the engines, making the thrust adjustments needed to navigate. The motivator also coordinated safe reversion to real space. Hyperdrives themselves were tended to be classed by their hyperspace multiplier. The lower, the better. So numbering was based on a standard time/distance measure that equated to class 1. A drive that took twice the standard time was rated class 2, the standard speed of a civilian transport in Republic times. Starships came out of hyperspace at the speed they were travelling when they went in. This could be critical, especially if a ship was forced out of a jump by an unexpected mass shadow. All types of hyperdrive had an automatic cutoff if the computer detected a mass shadow, and their ship dropped back into real space. Over the years, many organisations and individuals used everything from gravity well generators to large asteroids to block hyperspace routes and force ships back into real space. Despite modernised safety measures, hyperspace accidents still tended to occur. A mass shadow the size of a metre-square asteroid could destroy a vessel and crew in an instant. Starships could also fail to revert to real space and be forced to travel in hyperspace forever. There were rumours of malfunctioning motivators forcing ships into strange new dimensions, with no hope of ever returning. And such accidents were very rare, and all modern vessels carried multiple backup systems to ensure the safety of their passengers. And that is pretty much everything you need to know about hyperspace. My voice sounds a bit different, it's because I'm recovering from a cold. The coughing's gone now, so pretty much just about gone, so I can talk, but my voice is still, And also, I won't be doing any more Starships, Starfighters, or vehicle lore videos for the next few weeks. I'm going to instead be doing them on different Star Wars characters and historical events and planets, etc., just to even it out. And that's about it. So if you like the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to keep updated for my latest videos, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Later.